yeah, that's how programming is like. When you are starting, we learn the pieces because we are talking about data structures, lists, I mean, dictionary, tuple, blah, 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 blah. On themselves alone, they are less useful. But these are the pieces, they are the building blocks. We lay one on top of the other, we put mortar in between, blah, 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 and it builds some serious architecture. Okay. So everything you see on the web, including even Gen AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, all of them are codes actually. And to be very specific, they are Python codes. But when you are using them, you think some human being is responding. It's a formula, it's a code. And that's how important computer programming is. It's the magic behind every invention. So you have to be interested, if not for yourself, for the future generation. You should be able to pioneer such ways of thinking. So walk ourselves through that project. I've shared it in the platform. So you can probably go through it, cursory, take a cursory walk through it to familiarize yourself with it so that you'll be able to connect well when I'm doing the demonstration. And when we're able to do that, you should be able to understand Python from basics to somehow into the intermediate level, because by then you would have been able to use Python programming to implement some solution combining many parts of the program. So you should be able to see, okay, this is how the language looks like. This is how the Python language looks like. And this is how the pieces connect together, just like letters forming words, 2-letter words, 3-letter words, phrases, sentences, paragraphs, and then thesis. You can write thesis with those building blocks. It's the same way that programming language works. Yeah. Okay. So if you have any questions from your previous readings, previous experimentations, adventures, discussions, whatsoever, I think you can ask whilst we are still waiting for other people to join.
Please, Doc.
Yes, please go ahead.
Please, about the collabgoogle.com. I tried to log in, but I found difficulty.
Okay.
Going
Connecting
around
to
it.
it.
Yes, please.
Okay. 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 So I'll just go over that one quickly. But we also need to be aware that if we are not working with a good internet, please, did it open? Did the interface open? The interface can open, but maybe for the first time it is overwhelming. You don't know where to click and do what and what and what. Then that one,
Yeah, yes,
I'll quickly go over.
yeah, yes, open
It's
point
open,
holes.
right?
Yes, it opens. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go over the interface again for you.
All right, thank you.
Any other question? Well, today's class participation is very, very not encouraging. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 students are around as I'm speaking.
Please, we've all joined before, but when you said you've given 5 minutes for other students, that was
So maybe people are calling other people back.
yeah, I'm sure. So they will come back.
Yes, please. So we can go through the material. Just go through it to familiarize yourself. You should not worry your mind about going through it and being able to solve it. Learning is not one spot thing. Learning is a continuous journey. Once you have your mind fixed on understanding it, even if it doesn't come a day or two, it will definitely come. So just go through it, but go through it with a good mind to understand what the problem is. It's a normal accounting problem, which you guys are familiar with because this course is computer applications for accounting. So as for the domain knowledge about the question, you have it 100%. So what we are going to learn is, okay, if you have a case like this in accounting, how do we use the basics of Python that we have learned, these pieces? How do we join the pieces together as if you are joining letters together to form words and sentences and paragraphs and so on and so. That's exactly something like that we are going to do. So just go through it for your own familiarization with the question, because we are going to solve it together. I'm not going to preach. We are going to discuss it, and you can't discuss something that you are not familiar with. So go through it for your familiarization. Okay, so let me start the session. I think those who will come have already come. So I'll start by first going quickly over the Google Colab interface for our friend who needs that assistance. Okay, I guess you can see my screen now.
Yes, please.
Okay. So frankly speaking, the only thing you need to do is if you open your browser. So I'm just going to overwrite the interface you are seeing. Open your browser like this. You type in Colab, colab.google.com. And if you have done it before, the search will be stored so that you don't really need to type it fully like you are seeing on the screen now. It has automatically populated the full link, colab.google.com. Then this will take you to Google Colab's homepage or landing page, if you like. Yeah. If you've been using Google Colab for some time, let's say you've used it just even once, it's most likely to open with this interface, where the Open Notebook dialog automatically activated. Other than that, it might open with some welcome, usually tutorial-based welcome screen from Google Colab because you are doing it for the first time. And that comes with this example. I mean, this example page will open. So you are likely to see something like this. Overview of Colab. Let me see. You are likely to see something like this. Overview of Colab. It's a brief tutorial. Sales, code sales. And this is a handy way for you to practice with it without really going to search for any tortuous path for information. So this gives you some basics of the program, how it works, adding and moving cells, working with Python. So it's doing some demo code for you. If you follow through it, you'll see that you'll be giving yourself a big time tutorial. And then error outputs, error feedback, and how it speaks to you. The program speaks to you about, okay, you are chatting with the program. So just like you are talking to, let's say, a person who speaks a different language, and you are learning the language for the first time. You are a newbie in learning that language. It is just a natural thing that you speak the language broken. You'll be breaking many rules. I mean, that's how we start doing everything as humans. That's how our brains work. You start picking things through mistakes. And then over time, if you don't stop, it is able to map all the patterns and then it gets more intelligent. That's how the brain works. So you do yourself a big harm when you start something briefly and you put it down and say, this is difficult. No. The brain works by mapping patterns. And let me tell you, that is the same. It is based on the architecture of how the brain works that we have tools like generative AI. It is built purely by how the brain works. So if you look at any picture on Gen AI, let me just skip this page and let's say go to Google, general Google search. Or maybe I think, let me go to Google Images. So you do images.google.com. That server of Google has almost every image you are looking for in the world. So sometimes if you're doing something that requires you to be attaching some nice images, you can come to images.google.com and find images. Most of them will be free, but some are proprietary. So when you use them, you need to be careful about those things. Sometimes if you are just using a proprietary image, you only need to cite the source. Okay, it's not any big deal. If you don't cite the source, you could be prosecuted for breaching copyright rules. Yeah. So I'm going to search for Gen AI. Once I'm in Google Images, when I search, only images will come because this is what this page, this site is for. And then you will see that the main icon you usually see about Gen AI is a human head, actually emphasizing the human brain, or sometimes the human brain taken out of the human head. For example, this one, you see a human head, you see a human head, you see a human head. The highlight is on the brain. This one, for example, is how the brain looks like. Some of them will even do it better. Like this one. Yeah, even though it will be kind of manipulated somehow, but the whole thing is about the human brain. Like this one. Yeah. So it is based on how the brain is constructed by nature that we are mimicking, and we are getting that powerful too. The brain works by learning patterns repeatedly. And if you do it consistently, consciously, repeatedly, with no time, the brain will be able to map all the patterns. And that's just how the transformer formula, the formula that works behind how Gen AI works is the transformer formula. It's a Google invention originally. And the transformer has mechanisms to learn heavily from data. So all that the magic behind Gen AI is that the formula has been fed with massive amount of data, almost all the publicly available data. And it has been able to map the patterns in the data. So it's able to know the rules in our language by just mapping the patterns, the connectedness between words. And by doing that thing, the Gen AI will be able to predict the next word if you give it a word based on the patterns it has learned. Okay, the capital of France is, it will go through what it has learned and know that based on probability, the most highly probable word that should follow from that sentence is this or that, and so on and so forth. So that's the core mechanism of Gen AI, and it's about your brain. So the point I'm trying to prove is that don't deprive your brain from learning patterns. by just quitting early. No, you can rest if you are tired, but you don't need to quit if you really want to do something. So now I go back to collab.google.com. Yes. So this page, Open Notebook page, will pop up and you can see these things. Examples, if you want to run yourself through some basic tutorials, and I encourage all of you to do that. Just go there and go to the examples, read. They are plain, very basic English. If you still lack in knowledge about these things, it means, one, either you're not interested, and for the sake of being examined on these things, even if you think you're not interested, learn up to the point that you pass. But this is this is very important, and I think all of you should be interested in. From there, you can come to recent if you have used it before. Then the recent file you worked on. The idea is that maybe you want to continue that same project. So you'll see them, for example, on title 23. When you open a notebook, it gives it a generic name of untitled until you give it a customized name. And customizing the name is very simple. I'll show it. So if it is none of these already opened, what do we call it? Notebooks that you want to reopen and work on, then you can come to new notebook. In your case, it's most likely to be new notebook, the person who asked the question, because the first time you open, you couldn't really see how it works. Then you click on this new notebook and a new notebook will open. And when a new notebook opens, this is how the interface looks like. It's still opening. Yes. So you see on title 24. So this is where you can customize it. You just click inside here and then you rename it. Rename it all the words that come before the dots. Dots separates the name you are providing from the family name, which associates the file to the application. So you don't really need to delete the dots. So delete everything up to the dots, excluding the dots. And then you can provide your name. So this one is like, let me say, practical demonstration. Yes. Also TV. Also TV. Are you putting on the TV? And one lower for them. Okay. So sorry. So practical demonstration. This is how I want to name it. You can name it anyhow you want it. You can start a notebook if it's some important project for you, so that you can quickly retrieve it. But that's not the most important thing. So when I click outside, this file is renamed into something more meaningful. Practical demonstration. And then it begins with an open code cell, because actually this environment is for coding. So you just type your code here. For example, if you want to import some packages that you want to use for your analysis, usually the first cells are used to describe what the project is about. So you are most likely to convert or use a text cell at the beginning, trying to provide the narrative around your project. If that is the case, then you can click on this text cell. But when you click on text cell, for example, this, it will add a text cell below, but you wanted it to be above. So you can use this arrow key. There's an upward pointing arrow key. It's only saying that, okay, when you click on me, when you have this cell active and you click on me, it means you want to move me up. Yes, and then we have the text cell here. And here you can provide the narrative on the project. For this particular project, it is some accounting, I think it is about profit analysis about some business. So let me say analyzing the profitability. Because we are typing in a text cell, it will never be interpreted by the Python interpreter as a code. Otherwise, it would have thrown error. I'll show you something for you to see. Analyzing the profitability of, let's say, ABC company. I'll open the file to see the name there, but we can provide any generic name in the meantime, ABC company. Yeah. So this will kind of show this normal text. So as we are typing here, how it will be formatted is showing in the right hand, on the right hand side. There is something we call markdown, and you need to familiarize yourself with at least the basics of markdown. It's simple way of communicating to this interface, like the Google Colab or Google Notebook, Jupyter Notebook, so that it's able to turn the text into the way you want to see it. For example, I want this one to be a heading. So to do that, I just do hashtag and then space. Now you see how, look at your right hand side, how the text looks like. Please, are you able to see it well?
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you. So just this hashtag space before the text formats the text. Before, it was like this. I just did this, and then it reformats it into a title. If you think this is too big, this is first level title. We call heading 1. So it's always very bold and big. If you want it to be smaller than this for your purpose, then you can add another hashtag. So this is level 2 heading. If you add another hashtag, level 3 heading. So you do it as it is appropriate for what you're doing. So let's say I'm done and I want to say, okay, analyzing the profitability of ABC company. I just want to itemize just below this heading the specific stuff that we want to do. Of course, the way you will write these things depends on the project you are dealing with and how you want to communicate. So let's say for this particular thing, just for demonstration purposes, we want to itemize the things, the specific stuff we'll be going through in this project. And usually we do this thing using numbered lists, bulleted lists, and so on and so forth. If you want to do anything like this, there are a couple of ways you can use Markdown to kind of convert or format your text. If I do 1 asterisk and then type that thing I want to do. So let's say importing the appropriate Python packages. Okay, so let me make the I capital. Okay, so you can see that it is formatted on the right hand side as a bullet. Then when I come down and do another one and say, then you see it is automatically pre-formatted for you to see. So it means that when you run that cell, this is how you will see things. what again? Creating a data frame to organize the data. Yep. So let's say for this is all I want to do for these two things. I mean, it can go on and on and on and on. And then I say, I type something, maybe in addition, the following will also be executed. The English is dynamic. You can type your own English. Then here, maybe I want to use numbers. You can just say 1 dot and then space. And it's a markdown syntax, so the program understands what you mean. For example, if you wanted to repeat the same bulleted list, another way to do it is to do hyphen space. Then you type, let's say, visualizing the trends in the data set, for example. And you see that this one is also bulleted. So it does the same work, either you use this hyphen space or you use this single asterisk space. And when I do three space, like 3 hyphens, like you see on the left-hand side, then it underlines the whole thing. Sometimes you seal off, and then you start another thing. If you want to do something like this, this is the code to do it. 1, 2, 3 hyphens. It draws this line. And then maybe you want to start something. So that is a bit of an introduction to Markdown. And the fact that you might want to start your project with a narrative of the project, and you will need a Markdown cell, also called text cell. And this is a demonstration. Then you see by default, it opens with a code cell. And by default, if you just hover your mouse on a code, I'm getting to the bottom border of the cell, then it gives you these buttons, plus code, plus text. If you click on this plus code, you add a code cell. Maybe you need another cell to do another block of code to run something. You can do this. If you need another text cell, you click on this. So now this code cell, what you can do is, okay, I've done the narrative, as you can see above. So I'm doing as the narrative says, which is importing the appropriate packages. So we're going to say import. We will need NumPy for any numerical computations to import NumPy as NP. And the point is, for any data analysis project, you will have to do these kind of importations. It's not really by force, but usually if you do it like this, you are safe. Yeah, because somewhere along the line, not always, but in most cases, somewhere along the line, you might need to do some computation that might require you to use some function from NumPy and so on and so forth. So if you import NumPy, you're already good to go. It means that you have set your environment just like a serious student who is preparing to learn something important and to hit some serious targets. You do not come and sit before your table and then you realize, oh, I forgot about my computer. Let me go and pick my computer. And then you come with a computer. And then you just realize again, oh, I really forget about this notepad that I scribble some points on. Then you run and go and pick it. Then you sit down, then oh, you just realize again, oh, I should have brought A, B, C, D. Right. So that's not a good way of organizing yourself for the learning. It will even distract your mind. Yeah. So the best way to organize yourself is that you gather all the things you will need and sit down before you and refresh, meditate some small to kind of condition your mind to what you are coming to learn. And then you start your learning with no distractions. So you import every tool, every package that you think might be needed in the project. So NumPy, then we do import pandas. And one thing about Google Colab is that it has what we call IntelliSense. So just doing the first importation, it senses that, okay, you are most likely to do data analysis projects. So your next importation is most likely to be pandas as PD. So it does it for you. So that is this line. You see it in gray. Then it gives you the next line. Import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT, another data analysis package. Import Seaborn as SNS, another data analysis package. And then %matplotlib.inline if you want to do some things inside your notebook on matplotlib. So it does all of these things for you. If you read through them and they are okay for you, what Google Colab is suggesting for you based on your first importation, then you can press your tab key to accept them. So we have done our first bullet. Then we have to go to the project. Please, I shared a project file with you. So go through it. Should I give you some few minutes to go through it, or you have already done so? Hello, are you with me?
Please, I've done so. I've done so, but I don't know the rest. I don't know.
You have gone through, right?
Yes, please.
Is there anybody who needs some few minutes, like 2 minutes, to go through it? Please let's know so that we give you that note. You need to connect with what we are going to discuss. It's a practical project we are going to implement. So if you're not familiar, it will not help you understand it. Is there anybody who needs some 2 minutes to go through the material? Okay, silence means all of us are familiar with the document. Okay, so now we can leave this code cell. Usually we do the projects in a modular way. Modular means that I don't really want to mix my packages with the actual coding I'm going to do. So I'll leave my packages in a dedicated cell like this, and then I'll come here and do another cell to also contain some logical portion of the project. So I organize the project on logical breakpoints, sort of. Yeah. So now we want to create a data frame based on the demands of the project. Yeah, so this is where you need to be familiar with the project. Who can read through the project for us quickly? Someone will read through the project quickly for us. Hey, there's no reader. Okay, then I'll mention them.
Hello, Doc.
Yes. You want to read for us, right?
Yes, please. I should read all or only relevant portion.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
Read
introduction to
off.
business. Introduction to business analysis. JMP
Yes.
Enterprises operates a mini supermarket at Amamuma in Cape Coast, Central Region of Ghana. Daily sales records of one of the products sold by JMP are presented in tables 5 to 3 and 5 to 4. Table 5 to 1, monthly sales unit for GMP Enterprises. So we are months against sales unit. Well, for January, we have 1,234. February, 997. March, 2003. April, 1,984. May, 898. June, 900. July, 1,800. August, 1,578. September, 2,110. October, 900. November, 2,404. And December, 3,453. It's called
Okay.
GMP.
Thank you very much.
Is that all?
Thank you
Is
very
it
much.
okay?
Yeah.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. I want another person to continue. We all need to be engaged in the discussion. Thank you very much for the reading. But before another person continues, I want to speak something small about what you just read. You see the table that presents us the data. All that we are going to do in this project is data analytics through Python programming. And we should have our focus mainly on the data. The rest of the texts are only going to explain how how the data behaves and so on and so forth. So this table is very, very important for our job as data analysts in this case. If you look at the table, which presents as the monthly sales in units for GMP Enterprise, what kind of mapping can you do between this style of the data and the data structures that we learned in Python? Try and do some mapping and tell me something. It's a question that I demand answer. Everybody will talk. So I have Abukari Anthony is on board. Daniel Mintana is here. Danny Live is also here. Danny Live is live here. Then Delali is here. Prince Boache and Rita. Okay, so these are the people I have today. So each one of you will talk. So if you look at the data structure, the data in the project, as he just read, which Python package can you map it to? So let me just add a text cell here so that we can sort of brainstorm on those things. We talked about these data structures. If you really watch the videos, and the videos, you have to watch them yourself. Nobody can watch a video for you. And any material we give you, you need to do it yourself. Nobody can learn them for you. So once you have the materials shared with you over the whole week, you're supposed to come to the weekend fully prepared, having the material fully read. So when we meet here, the business we do is what you read, what were the challenges, like someone pointed out, he's still confused about Google Colab's interface. Then we kind of trash those issues out. But if you haven't read, I can't read for you here. This session is not for reading. Yeah. So through the videos and the materials that you should have read, you see these data structures. Data structures are basically the way Python organizes data, and it mimics the way we do things in everyday life. So we have things like lists, we have tuple, we have dictionaries, so let me make it similar. Dictionary data structure, list data structure. We can have more, but these three are very, very essential. So when you look at the data, the question, the data he just read, the monthly sales, so the months and the corresponding sales. Which data structure in Python best fits such data organization? I'm waiting for response, please. Okay, maybe I need to ask specific people. Let me give it to Rita. Rita is the course rep. So let's start with the course rep. Course rep, do you have the projects we are implementing?
No, please.
And why no, please?
Please, I went to it. I'm having challenges in this work. I'm trying to
I shared it on your WhatsApp platform, so everybody should have it. And it will be of little use if you don't have that data we are running through. So if you can quickly go to the WhatsApp platform and open the data right now, it will be helpful for you.
Yes, please.
Okay, so we are waiting for you.
Please, I have the data now. I'll open it.
Okay, Rita, so he read about the first table, which shows us the monthly, actually the table is titled Table 5-1, monthly sales units for J&P enterprises. And we have a table which has two columns, month sales units, January, the corresponding sales, February, the corresponding sales units, March up to December in the same fashion. And we are discussing, if you look at this data, the way the data presents itself, which kind of data structure in Python best fits this kind of data organization? That's the question. And we have listed The ones that if you watch the videos that I shared with you, you would have definitely come across and see how it works. I have listed the 3 main ones. We have list, we have tuple, we have dictionary. Which of them?
Actually, I didn't watch the video. I was having to read my book. I couldn't watch the video.
You couldn't watch the videos.
Yes, please.
So please go and watch the videos. Otherwise, see, this is a technical course. So if there is any broken thing somewhere, all the things you will be learning on top will not stand. Yeah, and you will say that the course is difficult. Usually the courses are not difficult. We, the human beings learning them, are rather difficult. So what you should have watched, on which this lecture depends. If you haven't watched, you cannot understand this lecture. And if you don't understand this lecture, it is not the lecture which is difficult. It is you who are difficult. So please, if you are also the same category as Rita, go and fix those broken things. When we share a video with you, it is not for me, the teacher, to watch it, because when I watch it, it will not come to your mind. It's for you to watch it to get the content into your mind, please. Yeah. Who else? Who can help? Okay. Maybe I should still keep mentioning names. Prince. Prince, watch it. Prince, say what you think.
Doc, I think we will use the dictionary.
Okay, Prince, thank you very much. Even though your line is breaking, the answer is correct. The dictionary data structure fits that data that we saw in the question. But help your friends, help all of us to understand why the dictionary data structure is the most fitting. Why? So that Rita, for example, has not watched the videos. Rita cannot see any connection. So that it can help Rita to be able to connect, at least in the meantime, for the discussion. Why is the dictionary data structure the most fitting structure for that data organization?
Because the data is organized by field.
Please come again.
I said that because the data is organized by months and sales.
So if it is organized by, let's say, year and revenue, would it be different? Yeah, I know you understand what you are saying, but you are speaking it to teach other people who don't understand it. So please break it down. Merely saying because the data is organized by month and sale is not explanatory enough for someone to understand how it connects to the dictionary data type or data structure.
Okay. One of the reasons is that the dictionary, they are saying that it is perfect. It is the one of the perfect tools for financial analysis by period. That is the month. That is one of the reasons.
Okay, so that is according to Boache. Thank you very much for your contribution. It's still not complete. Hey, some people are dropping off, or maybe it's internet. So Della, you just came on board. Della, let's hear what you think. Della, let's hear from you. Which data structure best fits it for the data we see in the question, and why?
Doc, please, I'm not trying to get a concept of all these concepts.
It means you didn't watch the video.
I left to watch some of the videos. I didn't watch the videos.
If you don't watch them, you will
No,
struggle.
please. Oh yeah, I started watching them before I understood that if I didn't watch it, I would struggle.
Danny Live. Danny Live, let's hear from you.
So, unfortunately, myself, I've not also watched the videos.
So when are we going to watch them? It looks like all of you have not watched the videos. It's not only Rachel. So when are we going to watch them? I need you guys to promise.
Yeah, we'll watch
Not
them before.
really, not a hard promise, but at least make some commitment statement. Because this is the only way to acquire knowledge. You have to read, you have to watch something, you have to assimilate something. When are you going to do that thing?
Before the next lecture, sir.
Because today we are drawing the curtains on basics of Python and data analytics with Python. And then next week is for a different topic altogether. It will mean that this block or this model, which is the Python analytics, you would have not really logged it in your mind. And then another thing begins. And this is where your problem starts, preparing for examination. Because we will examine you for your practical understanding of how they see how you are learning these things. I'm not really reading any textbook for you to chew and pour anything. We are practically typing something to see how it works. And that's how learning is. And that's the same way I'll examine you. You will sit the exam with your computers. So if you don't read and prepare, you will fail. And if you fail, well, I think you have another chance to do it if that's how you want it. So the dictionary data type, as Boachi said, is the most appropriate data structure based on how the data is presented in the question. And the reason is that the dictionary data structure is organized in a key value pair. Okay. So dictionary data structure is organized like this. All the data that presents itself like key value or something, and then a matching component, something, a matching component. And there are a lot of, we capture several kinds of data in that fashion. For example, as teachers, we might capture data. The dictionary data structure is for that kind of data structure I explained to you. Something and then a corresponding or a connected data. So in class, it can be maybe course title and then the corresponding name. That's a dictionary structure. And the other time I explained to you, and in the videos, if you had watched them, it is clearly explained that the name dictionary is picked from the word dictionary as we know it. We use dictionary to find words and their corresponding meaning. That's how it is. Dictionary, as we know of it, is organized in key value pair. The key is the word you are looking for. And then when you find a word, you can find the corresponding meaning. And there are a lot of data that we present in that fashion. Like I told you in classroom, you might probably capture your courses. You want to do a simple course database. So course title, the corresponding course, course code corresponding course title. In another, situation, you might do course title and then maybe the corresponding credit hours. And then you might do course title or course code together with a course title and a corresponding tutor or teacher. You might do student registration number and a corresponding grade, a corresponding score in a particular course or a particular examination. All of these ways of capturing data mimics the dictionary structure. Key value pair. So the key thing, the key terminology that you need to learn is this concept of key value pair. Key value pair. Are you okay? I need your response, please. Are you okay?
Yes, sir.
So if you go back to the data, you will see that month, so the key is month, colon, sales units. So this is how it is, key value pair, which reflects the dictionary structure. Okay, so at this point, this is what I want you to do. Everybody should pick his, either your phone or whatever you use to access your Gen AI. Which Gen AI apps do you guys use, or Gen AI platforms do you guys use? ChatGPT is there, Gemini is there, Perplexity is there, Claude is there, a lot of them. Which one? You can say it for yourself.
ChatGPT.
You can use ChatGPT. So go to ChatGPT right now and type something like this. Please, you might desist from using the word please because it's just some formula. It's not a human being. But you can really do like you are chatting with a human being because it has everything like a human being. So you can do something like, please, I'm learning Python as an absolute beginner. And currently, I'm learning something about the dictionary data structure. Can you break down for me how the dictionary data structure looks like and where it is fitting in data processing? I mean, type something around this prompt. This is the way probably I would have typed my prompt with a little modification. I've given you the core idea, frame what you will type around this, and give it to your model, either ChatGPT or Gemini or any one of them. I'll call everyone to read his or her feedback. Please, if you are done, you can just alert us. You can do that by mentioning your name, and then you can read something about what you have found. This is simple thing, so it shouldn't take our time. Okay, so let me start from Rita again. Hey, Rita is gone. Julie is back. Julie,
So I just joined. I thought that it's the lecture was scheduled, so I just
Okay,
joined.
you just joined, I know.
Mm.
Prince, let's hear from you. Prince, watch it. Say something. Okay, Prince is not speaking. Let's give it to Daniel Mintanya. Dan, say something. Mintanya.
Yes, though. Please, I instructed ChatGPT that I'm a beginner in Python app. So can you break down for me how to use dictionary data structure for key and pair value pair?
Okay.
And he responded that, great question, Daniel. Python dictionaries are one of the most useful data structures, especially for beginners. I'll break it down step by step using simple explanation and examples. Step one, what is a dictionary in Python? A dictionary stores data in key value pairs. Think of it like a real dictionary. Bullet one, first bullet, key and the word, value and the meaning. Then it gave me an example in copy code, but it's saying the writings are very small.
Okay, so Dan, thank you very much.
You're welcome, though.
In fact, what I wanted you guys to learn from that exercise is the fact that the knowledge you are seeking is just right in your palm, right? So everything that you are looking for, everything that we share with you that you should learn, I didn't pay the fees you guys have paid. And I'm not the one paying the time you are committing to this exercise. So if you're not interested, I don't see the point in wasting your resources. And if you are indeed, if you know why you are doing what you are doing, then everything is just around you. Yep. So you can't tell me you don't know. It is a choice. If you don't know, it's a choice. You chose not to know because it's just around you. Yeah, so we can use a similar fashion as Mintanya Akun just did. Just put it in your Gen AI, but type the prompt. You see, Gen AI, I told you in the beginning, is a technology that is built on how our brain functions. So when you are asking Gen AI like ChatGPT or Gemini or any one of them, something like what Mintanya Akun did, it's just like you are asking some top professor, someone who is very knowledgeable about almost everything. The way you ask the question has a huge impact on the explanation you get. And because Gen AI is not really a human being to even understand your mind, even if you don't ask the question the right way, it's purely a formula. So it works on garbage in, garbage out. Exactly how you ask the question, that's where it will find the in its knowledge base where to situate your question and pick the information from. And so that's the area we call prompt engineering. And it's not any difficult thing. It's about the best way to ask Gen AI the question so that you get exactly what you want and you know what you want. That one is personal. So for me, prompt engineering, you can kind of look at what people are, the way people are asking questions by reading around. But it is mostly your own way, the way you want to know things. Yeah. So you ask it the way you want to understand things, and it will bring it back to you. That's prompt engineering. Yeah. So when you do that, you'll be able to learn everything you want to learn. Yeah. So you use the same style to learn all the materials I've shared with you. You can share the video link, all the videos I've shared with you. You can share the video link to your Gen AI platform like ChatGPT or Gemini or any one of them and chat your model, chat your Gen AI model based on the video link or based on some URL, some web page link or some PDF. Chat it to understand it. It can break it down like you are 5 years. You are a complete dummy, completely stupid. You don't understand anything. It still has that patience to break things down. And that's the way you learn these things. Okay. So we have the same. Yes, please go ahead.
Sir, please. So I just log in. So am I to open the Anaconda app or something?
Yes, you have to open your Jupyter Lab. Or if you have a good internet, you can also do the same thing from Google Colab. Right now, I'm using Google Colab to do the coding. It works the same way as if you open your offline Jupyter Lab.
Okay.
Yes, and then I also shared the material we are discussing, the project we are implementing on your WhatsApp platform. So you have to open it. That's what we are discussing right now. There's a data in that question which we are analyzing in terms of the way that data is presented, which data structure in Python best captures that data organization. And then it is pointing to the dictionary data type. That's why we are discussing the dictionary data type, because the dictionary data type is structured key value pair. Some label and a corresponding value. So you can open the data I share with you right now. The first table, you see that the data is captured in month and the corresponding sales units. Month corresponding sales units. And that is key for the month, value for the sales units. So key value pair.
Okay.
And we are going to see how we capture that data inside the Python development environment, so that we begin to manipulate the data. Data analytics is all about data manipulation for insights. Yeah. So now that we have been able to map the way the data is presented in the question to a data structure in Python, then we can begin to code to capture that data into our Python environment for further analysis.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we can go to your Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook, or Google Colab. Now I'm coming to capture the data. We have already imported the packages that will help us in those kind of data structuring and analysis, like pandas. No, not pandas in the meantime. Dictionary is a base Python data structure. So you don't even need any package. Yeah, the basic the basics of the language already has that structure. When we want to do something like Excel-like data structure, then that one will need a specific package like pandas. Okay, so we'll come there. So now for the dictionary data structure, I'll just say, okay, what name should we give to the objects that should hold the data structure? You can go back to the question and you will see the data structure, month and corresponding sales units. We want to capture this into a Python dictionary data, and we need to give it a data name or an object name. So sometimes you can use the company's name, but the company's name will not really tell you about what the data, what the object is containing. So maybe I can do, maybe I can do maybe I can even decide to forget about the company name. If you like, you can make the company name appear. So we can name it like JMP monthly sales analysis, something like that. Yeah, it only needs to be self-explanatory. It should be kind of speaking what the object contains on the face so that you will not get lost about your own data objects and what they are doing. That's the whole idea, not any technical thing. So now I come here, I'll give it J underscore P underscore monthly let's say profits sometimes you want to name it as long as this because you want to really make it more specific about what it is doing. But if you can maybe make it simpler and you still can understand what it is doing, that's fine. Okay, so this is the name I'm going to supply to the variable or the object I'm going to create to hold that data. And it is a dictionary data object. So I'll use the curly braces and I want to really capture its fundamental. So I will do something like this. So Google Colab is already suggesting based on the name I supplied for the data object, it's kind of thinking for you, okay, you might want to be doing something like this because you said monthly profit analysis. So January, February with some corresponding. And it is also because you are using the dictionary notation, curly braces. So it's doing the key colon, the value. And this is all you need to know. This is all what a structure is. And this is not difficult to grasp. If you grasp this, that's it. So we go back to our question. In our question, what is our first month? January.
January,
So
yeah.
January.
you can type it fully, or we can use the abbreviation. They work the same way. So for speed, let's use the abbreviated form. So JAN for January. And then I come out and say, let me use single quotations, okay? That is faster. So January, what is January's corresponding sales?
1,234.
1,234. Okay. Then I do comma. I'm done with that key value per data point. I come to the next one, which will be February. So I can press to accept and edit. So February, what is February's value?
9,907.
997. 997.
997. Okay. And what is March's value?
2003.
2003.
2003. Yes, it will be good if you read its individual digits. And what will be April?
1,984.
1984, comma. We come to the next one, which is May. What is May's value?
898.
99
898.
898. Thank you. And what is June's value?
900.
900.
900.
00.
900. Okay, we come to July. What is July's value?
1800.
1800. What is August?
1578.
1578. And what is September's value?
2110.
2110. What is October's?
900. 900.
900.
Yeah.
What is November's value?
2404.
2404. And what is December's value?
3453.
3453. Good. So we are done. And this is how you capture it. First, inside this notation to tell the Python interpreter that you are doing a dictionary data creation. And then inside the notation is key value pair capturing of your data. January, the corresponding sales value, February, the corresponding sales value, up to December. And see how we are separating each key value pair with a comma. This is one key value pair. When we are done, we are going to capture another key value pair. So we separate the next one, this one from the next one by a comma, 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 until the last one. Here, nothing comes after it, so there's no comma. Then when we run the cell, it will create this data in Python's memory, which we can begin to manipulate. Some of the manipulations can simply be like, okay, I want to know the sales units for any of the months, let's say May. So I'll do this. This is the data object. And I told you this square brackets, when it is used in this way, it's used for accessing. So if you're in Colab, you get a lot of intelligence. So once I even do this, it tells you, okay, you want to access a month, any month or some particular month's value. So let's say May. Okay, so when I pick May and run this, or when I type May, this May label in this quotation and run it, it will fetch the value of May sales. And I can use it in my subsequent program and whatever I want to use that value for. And I can even reset the value. For example, if I do this square brackets, let's say December. And I just realized, okay, December's figure is a bit wrong. It is rather 3553. Then when I do this one is going to capture that value. Like I did this one, JP monthly profit analysis, square brackets. Inside the square bracket, we have May in quotation. That is accessing this value, the corresponding sales units. So when I do the same thing and put December here, it's going to access this value, 3453. And when I do equals, it means assign a new value to replace this one. And when I do, let's say 5,000, let's make it simple, 5,000. That's what it's going to be. It's going to set it to 5,000. Now, when I call for When I call for this again, let me just rerun this. Okay, when I rerun this, it means we are accessing the December's values. You will now see that it is no more 3453, but it will be the new value, as I said, 5,000. And again, once you know the dictionary data structure, like Mintanya helped us to know from ChatGPT, all of these methods, all of the manipulations you can programmatically do on the dictionary data structure, it will take you through step by step. So go through the rest of it in that fashion. So now we've created a dictionary data structure. If you want to see the dictionary, the full dictionary data structure, you can call back or you can do, the formal way is to do print. Print is a function that helps you to bring out the content of, so I can do print JP monthly profit analysis. Let me delete the dot keys here. It means a different thing. So we'll come back to the dot keys. So when I run this, it will give you the full dictionary data structure. January, the corresponding value is this, comma, February. So it gives you the same thing as you have typed. It means this is how it has stored it. When I do print JP monthly profit analysis dot keys, it means that I want to know all the keys. The keys are the labels like January, February, March, April. Only the keys, not the corresponding values, because I want to know the keys in the dictionary. That one, it will bring you the list of all the keys, January, February, March, April, May, June, up to December. You can also do dot values, and it will bring you all the values, only the values. So when I do print, and I do print JP monthly profit analysis dot values to bring me all the values. So you see, dict values is a list of all the values you supplied 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 9, 7, 2, 0, 3, blah 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 up to this. Yes. But let's go back to the question again. The table again. Even though this is a good idea, this is a good way of capturing that data. The dictionary data type, let me show you one thing. So when I bring in the dictionary name and do dots, this means that, okay, I want to do something. I want to do some manipulation on that data object. And all the things you see here are the various manipulations you can do. And you do them through functions. So these functions are automatically attached to the data object. And once you have a function automatically attaching to a data object, we call that function a method. So these are methods on the dictionary data object. I can clear. So when I do the dictionary data object dot clear, it clears every content, but the structure will still be there. I can copy. I can do from keys. I can do get. I can do items. I can do keys. We did keys. So you saw it's. I can do pop. I can do pop item. I can do set default. I can do update. I can do values. You have to use Gen AI to know how each one of these methods work. And these are the various ways that you can manipulate the data that you have captured in this way. And we do capture data in this way many times in our lives. Yeah. But there's a data structure that is superior to this one that can give us more tools for advanced analysis. And that's what we want to do. This is profit analysis. So we don't want to do basic analysis. In that case, we move to what we call data frame. We move to what we call data frame. Yes. Who can tell us something small about Python data frames, or basically data frames? You can consult your ChatGPT or Gemini. So I'm giving you 2 minutes to read something about it and tell me. This is something you should have done during the weekdays so that you can connect. So let me give you just 2 minutes to be able to go and read something briefly about data frame before we go. 2 minutes. Okay, so the 2 minutes is up. You can just mention your name and tell us what you have understood through your reading about data frames in Python.
Okay, so this is Julie.
Yeah,
Juliana.
Julie, please go.
Okay, so it's saying that a data frame is a tabularized structure that's used to store and work with data. Example is an Excel spreadsheet. And the data frame also help us to know our rows and columns. That's what I've
Okay, so basically that's okay. So we know what data frame is. And if you go back to the question, you will see that this, even though it is a word table, it has the shadow of an Excel spreadsheet, something like that. We can capture, because it's key value pair with a dictionary. Dictionary is limited in I mean, it's limited in the kind of analysis that we can do on the data objects. Yes, dictionary can capture it, we can do some analysis, but the analysis will be limited. If you want to have more tools and do much advanced analysis, then we will need a tabular data structure. Of course, you can also even see it in the originality of the question. This is a tabular data. So we will need something like an Excel sheet. In Python, something like an Excel worksheet, which even goes far advanced above Excel worksheets, is a data frame. And the data frame, because it's so important, it is situated inside a dedicated package called pandas. If you remember, at the very outset, we imported the pandas, this one, the pandas model or package. It is the package that has the data frame constructor, that will convert or capture our data in a data frame format so that we can have advanced analytics tools to analyze the data deeply. So that's what a pandas data frame does. NumPy will be called if you have to do some serious numerical analysis that probably goes beyond pandas, the NumPy can do it. But basically, all the question and as it is, everything is pandas job. Okay, so now we have learned through the question about the dictionary data structure, very important. And then we are going to talk about the data frame. The data frame actually, okay, so now Julie gave us the basic meaning of a data frame in Python. Someone or all of you should also do something like this. What is the structure or the syntax of the data frame objects in Python? You can just say, what is the syntax for a dictionary in Python? Don't complicate it. What is the syntax or what is the structure of a data frame in Python? Everybody should do that, and I'll call one to tell us about it. So again, 2 minutes. 1 minute is already gone. Okay, two more minutes to do that, and then I'll call one to give us feedback. The syntax or structure for the data for a data frame in Python. Okay, 2 minutes is up. This time around, I'll mention a name. But thanks to Julie for opting to talk to us about the data frame. Let me give it to Rita. Rita, what did you find?
I found the structure as being data arranged in a tabular form. How data is arranged to form a data frame. That is, follows a tabular two-dimensional structure. And the structures, and it is structured as rows, columns, and then cell values.
Okay, so that's still about this. The definition. When I say syntax, okay, maybe I also said structure. But if you key into any model, what is the structure or the syntax for the data for a data frame in Python, even if it will come with such explanatory matter, you will see the code. That is the syntax, how we write the code in any code editor. So, Rita, what code, I mean, what you search for, which Gen AI model are you using? ChatGPT?
Yes, please.
Okay, so ChatGPT should give you the code, that is the syntax, that you should write to create a data frame. Can you find it in what you found?
Please, I'm
So to show you the code, definitely, to show you the code, the generic code for creating a Python data frame.
Oh, okay. So I saw that it has an input of pandas as a PD.
Okay.
Yeah. And when you come down, it also have the code of DF equals to PD dots data
Yes, that's
frame.
what it is. So read that part very well. DF is a short notation for data frame. DF, data frame. So
Yeah.
that DF can be replaced with any name you want to give to your data frame object. But for generic use, DF is okay. So DF equals, and let's hear what follows.
DF equals PD dots data frames.
Yes. Into brackets, data, comma, index, comma, columns, brackets close.
Okay. Maybe you will see a different structure. Basically, this is what you will see. You will see something like this as the generic syntax for creating a Python data frame. Let me write it first as a comment. And of course, if I want to write something which is just a guiding note to my code, you use this pound symbol or this hashtag. And everything that you write after this pound symbol is interpreted by the Python interpreter as a comment, not an executable code. Yeah, so the syntax is like this. df equals, df equals pandas. We usually import pandas with this short name as PD. So we are calling pandas. And then we are getting inside pandas, that is the dots. Inside pandas, there is a function called data frame. And this is how that function is named. Programming languages are very case sensitive. So it is capital D. If you make it small d, it's a different thing you are talking about. And it is capital F. If you make it small f, it's a different thing you are talking about. So the data frame function is a function. Every function has open closing parentheses to take the arguments of the function to process, to give you the feedback. So this is how it is. pd.dataframe. And what can we pass inside the pd.data frame, the data frame constructor function, to turn our data into a data frame? If you look at your dictionary structure, the dictionary structure already has the shadow of a data frame. This January, February, March, April, the keys are essentially the column labels. And then the values are essentially the values under the labels, right? So when we turn this dictionary data object into a data frame straight, this is what it's going to do. It's going to create these columns: January, February, March, April, May, June, and under each column, you're going to put the corresponding value. But this will be a very wide data frame. We usually will not capture every month into a column name. So we can for the purposes of creating a data frame, we can create this one in a different way. And that one I'm going to code it, just pay attention. It's the same thing, we are just repackaging it. I'll just say, let me just make it profits analysis DF for data frame equals, no, I'm still creating a dictionary. So profit analysis dicts for a dictionary equals, and I have my dictionary notation. So instead of capturing each month as a separate column, month value, I'll do this. I'll bring this value, month, as my label, month. And then, because the month is not one thing, I will need to put the list of the months in a list notation. And this is where we begin to combine the various things we have learned. Go back and watch the videos, you'll be able to connect well. Now the month, the corresponding value is a list of months. So I'm going to do January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, like this. So that is the value for the month key. Then when I'm done, I'm going to say comma and come down and do sales units. Sales units, that is also going to be the values for each one of them in the same way that it flows. So let me see if I can capture, no, I can capture it like this. So maybe I'll capture it individually. So I'll copy this. Now the values are a list notation. Then we have this, comma. Second one is this. Comma. Third one is this. Fourth one is this. Fifth one is this. To capture it in the same way the data is paired. If you change it, for example, if I come and copy this one, then I will mismatch it with the month. So the way the months flow, you capture because they correspond with the month, you capture it the same way. And Python is intelligent enough to pair them in that intelligent way. Let me see, it's beginning to even read from the previous creation. So I can see 1800 is here. Let me check. 1800 is correct. The next one is 1578. 1578. The next one is, okay. So I can press this. The next one is 2110. And then it is able to pick it. The next one is 900. The next one is 2400. 2404. The next one is 3453. Yes. Okay, so these are the corresponding values. The values, if they are numbers, natural numbers, as we will be doing computations on, needs not to be put in quotation. It's only string, it's only characters, only, I mean, labels, which is just letters, A, B, C, D, things that we capture in quotation marks, like the names of the month. So when I do this, I have recaptured the same dictionary, but in a different fashion because I want the data to be presented differently. In this case, it's going to say, okay, month corresponds to not a single value, like January was corresponding to a single value. We are recapturing the data in a different fashion. Month corresponds to a list of values, sealed values, a list of values, but arranged such that January pairs with this, February pairs with this, March pairs with this. So the month list will be 12, and therefore the sales units list should also be 12. When I run this, it will create it. So when you look at this, you see the shadow of a data frame, which is columns and rows. This is a column name. The month is a column name. And below that column name is a list of values from January to December, like you see in the question. You can now go back to the question. You will see that we have month, and then under the month, we have January, February, March. This is the way to capture it. And then we have sales units, and then under it, we have these values. Yes. If you look at the dictionary, sorry, the data frame constructor, which is this, data frame, open, closing. It takes a dict structure. It takes a dict structure. Dict structure is like this one. It takes a key value pair structure where it converts, it reads and say, okay, your keys will be the column labels, and then the values under the columns will be the labels, will be the values associated with the column. So it will make this one, the month, a column name, and then the values under the month, January, February, March up to December, and create another column and name the column sales units and put these values under it. So we can pass, that's what the data frame constructor takes. It takes a data structure like the dictionary structure. So when I say df equals pd.data frame and put inside it this dictionary object, the dictionary object has defined the column name as month with the corresponding values under that column to be January to December. Another column name as sales units with the values under that column name to be those digits you saw. So when I pass this data object, which is the dictionary data object, to the dictionary, to the data frame constructor, I'm only telling the data frame constructor to convert the dictionary data into a data frame by making the keys, the column names, and the associated values, the column values. So now when I delete the hash, then this is a code. When I run this code, it reads an error. Let's go and say the name PD is not defined. That means that we didn't, I didn't run this cell to import the packages. So it's a common mistake you can do. After typing, I forgot to run. It means that these packages currently are not available in my current session. So I need to run the package to make them available in my current session. Then it will say, okay, I know PD. So it's only saying I don't know PD because PD is not really imported. Yeah, so that's what it said. Name PD is not defined. So now that it is defined, we can rerun the cell again. And that should be fine. Now we've created the data frame. If you want to see what the data frame looks like, you can just say print df, because that's the name we gave to the data object, the data frame object. My print is spelled wrongly. Print df. And when I run, it will print it and say, okay, this is your DF. This is like automatic row labels, but this is what you have. You have a month, you have sales, units, and this is how the data is arranged. Same like you see in the table. Of course, if you are using Jupyter Notebook, Jupyter Lab, or Google Colab, which is built around the IPython philosophy, even if you don't bring the print function, and you just call the data frame name DF, it will still print it. It will bring it up, and sometimes it formats it nicely like this. Yeah. So this is our data frame object, created from calling pandas, and inside pandas there's a specific function called data frame, and then we pass the dictionary objects. We could have put all of them together. Here we built the dictionary object differently, and we pass it to the data frame constructor. And then we have this. Now, there are a lot of things we can do on this data object, which is far advanced than the dictionary data object. So now if I do df dot, you can see all the manipulations that we can do on this data object. You saw the amount of manipulations we could do on the dictionary data object. They were not as many as this. And that tells you the power of the data frame object. Yes. If I do, I think we did this. If I do df.head, it kind of prints the first 5 rows. If I do df.tail, it prints the last 5 rows. That's if you want to familiarize yourself with how the data looks like. But I can do any of these things. Some of them are a bit advanced, but you can learn all of them through Gen AI. So you can do this, just go through as I've done. I've already shared videos with you. They speak about the same thing. If you do df, you can read about df.apps, df.add, df.add prefix, df.add suffix, df.add, df.aggregate, df.align, df.all, df.any, and let Gen AI break them down, what each one of them does, and how to write the code to do them. That's all you have learned. Very sophisticated technology, but it is not really difficult. So when I do df dot, for example, df dot describe, describe like descriptive statistics. So it's going to do a descriptive statistics on the data frame like this. So you see, okay, this is the count, it's 12 data points. This is the mean value. 16, like the mean sales units. On the average, we sell 1688 units every month. Standard deviation is 772. The minimum value in the data set is 898. The maximum value is 3453. And these are other statistics, 25th percentile, 50th percentile, which is the median, and then 75th percentile. So lower quartile, upper quartile. And you can compute the interquartile range between the 25th percentile and the 75th percentile. These are basic mathematics you've already done. And you can just do this simple code, df.describe, and it brings you all of those values. Now, I want to look at how my sales values, the trend of them. I can do df.plot. You can't do, there's no, what do we call it? There is no plot method on the dictionary data type. So that's why we say the dictionary data type only can help you do minimal analysis. But the data frame object has advanced tools for you to do advanced data analytics on the data objects. So when I do df.plot, I can do a scatter chart between the month No, I can do a bar chart where I put the month on the x-axis and put the sales unit on the y-axis. So I want to visualize the size of each month's sales in a more graphical way, because usually our eyes are able to capture those things smartly than if they are values. So when I do df.plot x equals month, y equals sales units, kind equals bar, you get something like this. So you're able to say, okay, January, this is January sales. This is better than reading the same information from these digits. Well, this is a small data set, just 12 data points. So maybe not as hard, but what if you are having 1 million records of data? Are you able to go through all of them to see which one is the biggest sales and the swings in the, no, that's where visualization becomes handy. So when I look at the data, I draw the data like this in this bar chart. It helps my brain, it helps my eyes to be able to capture the trends in the data. Now I see, okay, December, assets followed by, I think, November. And then September was not that bad. And then March and April were almost the same. So now you can go back and confirm. There's the March and April. 2003, 19, the difference is very, very, very small. So that's where, when you draw the data visually like this, you're able to capture. I can also do df.plot and kind of see, put the month on the x-axis, y on this sales unit on the y-axis, and I want to do a line. Let's see. It will not be that intelligent chart, but you'll be able to see this. So this is the line relationship between them. It's the same thing that you have converted. Of course, if you draw a line on top of these bars, if you draw a line on top of these charts, this is what the line will look like. So this is a trend analysis of the sales across. So this is like some basic, what do we call it? Time series analysis. How is sales doing across time, across the months? January, February, March, and you see these kind of things. Yeah. Any questions so far? Any questions? Okay, no questions. Now we have our data frame. So our data frame, I can just call it anytime DF. So this is our DF. Okay. Month sales with their corresponding balance. Then I may want to probably augment this table, increase this, add more information. We might want to compute, let's go back to the question and look at some of the things that the question says. What? Prepare a report showing monthly gross margins. Yes, so we might want to compute the monthly gross margins. And then annual profits. Oh, first of all, we can compute okay, we have some data here on what do we call it? Expenses, so sale and distribution expenses, administrative expenses, depreciation, wages, and salaries. We can expand the data frame to capture all of these data and then compute annual profits and blah, 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 blah. So the first thing we will need to do is, once these margins and profits come in, we will need to compute revenue. This is the sales units. So for example, if our business is into let's say bottled water, like let's say Voltic. These values 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 9, 7 is the quantity of bottles. Now each quantity corresponds to some revenue value. So we need to compute the revenue column. In the question, it says it costs JMP Enterprises 12 cedis to purchase 1 unit of the products. Carriage and other costs incurred in bringing the product to saleable point on the average is 2 cedis. JMP sells 1 unit of the product for 20 cedis. So we know the selling price, which we need now to be able to calculate our revenue column. So when I go to my code editor, I can now code to expand the data frame to include all of those things. Now I can now create a variable called selling price. Selling price equals 20. Usually, it's because I'm doing a demonstration. That's why I'm organizing it like this. Usually, you would have captured immediately after these packages, you would have also captured all the variables that you will need, maybe immediately following this. You will not capture the variables as and when.
Hello.
Hello.
Please,
Hi,
can you hear?
Yes, we can hear him.
I can hear you.
We can hear you, but I think
But
Doc has left.
nah, hey, please ask for this coding there. We need face to face. Wait.
Mm. Tonight, yeah, we have to go over it too, because some of us, truly speaking, we didn't start with him.
Hey, Uncle Prince Daniel Minta. Sir Daniel,
Yes, please.
as for today, you have to pass through the computer. No.
Yeah, we are all facing challenges. We need a TA to guide us with the basics. You see, if we can get somebody to go through that, starting from the basics, it would have helpful because
And
an
the
examination is close.
exams, are they going, is it going to be practicals or what?
Oh yeah, he said we have to come with our computers. Didn't you hear him?
To the exam for?
Laptops.
To the exam for?
I think so.
And then we will code and send it. Hey.
Hello?
Hi.
Doc is in.
Yes, I think I accidentally dropped off.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry about that. So where did I reach before the internet went off? So I'll pick it from there. I was
We were
talking
looking,
about, okay, please
yes.
come up, come up.
I think we were talking about the clock value, the price. We're going through the question, and then
Okay,
we saw that the product was 20 cedis or so.
good, good. So let's pick it from there. So the selling price is 20. Let me share my screen again. The selling price is 20, so we've created this variable. And I was asking, now we need to create another column called revenue, which combines the sales unit and the selling price. And what would that formula be? What is the formula for calculating sales revenue or revenue from the sales unit and the selling price? I'm waiting for your response.
Please, Doc, we didn't get the question clearly.
The question is, this is our initial table. We have month column, we have sales unit column. Now we want to create revenue column. Sales unit is like if you are selling bottled water. This 1, 2, 3, 4 is like the quantity of bottles. What is the money value? That is the revenue. We have the units, the quantity, and we have how much one bottle sells for. So if you want to create the column for revenue, it is a formula between sales unit and selling price. And I want you to conclude on the formula, how the formula will be. So what is the formula for revenue?
Please, Doc, it will be quantity sold times sales per unit.
Okay, so speaking it more specifically in terms of the labels in our data frame, re-say what you said.
Sales unit times selling price per unit.
Great, so that's what it is. So we come here, and this is how you expand the data frame. The data frame's name is DF. Whatever name you have supplied, it might not be DF, it might be different, and that's the name you have to provide. In this case, DF, because we want to be going faster. And I'll say DF. When I say DF square brackets, look at the one I have highlighted. DF square brackets, and then I pass in this text revenue. It means that I want to access the values for that column. But there is no column called revenue. So when Python reads this table head, this table columns, and it doesn't find revenue, the meaning it gives to this code is that, okay, you want to create it. And if you want to create it, how should the values be calculated? So now the values will be DF sales units. DF will come because that's the data object and then the column of the data objects times selling price. Selling price is this thing. So this is the formula. And once I run this, it will create a column to this data frame where we have revenue as the column label, and then the values that are generated through this formula. Sales units times selling price will also be there in that nice fashion. So now I run it. When you call DF again, you will see that DF now has an additional column called revenue, which has the values calculated based on the formula we provided. So we have revenue. So take your time and go through the code. Maybe you want to just assimilate it. It's quite commonsensical. The logic is straightforward. There's nothing complicated about it. And now with this information, new information, I can compute the margin. Margin is simply between a difference between your revenue and your cost. Okay, we don't have the cost yet. So let's do some simple thing. Let's go back to the question. The question says, the question provides us a second table, which has some annual cost data. But what we have captured it in monthly. So we can do something. We can assume that all of these values accrue evenly across the year. And therefore, we can divide this selling and distribution expenses for the whole year, which is 12,000. We can divide it by 12. And then the value we get is the average value for each month. And do the same for administrative, do the same for depreciation. So what we can do is that we can capture these data as separate variables, selling and admin expenses as a separate variable, admin as a separate variable, blah, 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 and later programmatically compute. So let me just copy it and paste it and edit, sorry. So selling and distribution expenses, I'm only trying to be a bit lazy, so I'm going to edit it from here. Equals this. Admin, I want all of them to be lowercase. Admin overheads equals these values. Depreciation equals this. Wages and salaries equals this. So we have stored these annual expenditure values as separate variable. That's one way you can implement it. And then when I run this code, I can do something like total, I can create another variable like total expenses. And then it is going to be the sum of all of these things. So we have selling and admin expenses plus administrative overheads plus depreciation plus wages and salaries. When I run, I've computed a separate variable which sums all of the operating expenses. And then the name I've given to that variable is total expenses. So now when I do total expenses, for example, divided by 12, I'm kind of finding the average value. For now, we can use the average value for the expenditure column. Sorry. And that will give us, okay, it's around something like this. So on the average, every month we incur an expenditure of this. It's not a realistic because every month's value will be different. But for this kind of demonstration, I want it to be simple like this. So I can, again, create a column which will be populated with these values, these average values, as a shortcut way of creating the expenses column. So when I go to, when I do DF, sorry, DF square brackets, this, I say, okay, total no, say average monthly expense or expenditure expenses, then it will be equal to total expenses divided by 12. So now I'm creating a column called average monthly expenses, and this is how I want the values. I want the average. So when I do this, it will compute those values as a column. And now when you call DF again, you see that DF will come with an additional column which has the average monthly expenses values. This is what you have. And now you can go ahead and do the margin calculation. The margin will be revenue minus my expenses for every month, sort of. So I now can also say DF monthly margin. So DF monthly margin or monthly profit. Let's say margin or profit. Monthly profit is okay. We usually use profit. Is DF revenue minus DF average monthly expense. And when I run this, it creates another column. Okay, it runs with an error. Let's see the error message. Unterminated string literal detected at line 1. Okay, line 1. Okay, so here the quotation didn't close. So I close the quotation. And I think the square brackets also didn't close. So these are the usual syntax errors you'll be making when you are coding for the first time. And it's always good. Don't be frightened by the error message. It always gives a guidance. After all, if you're not able to do this, copy the whole thing. Or if in Google Colab, you can see explain error. It will take you to Gemini. And Gemini will pick the error and explain it to you and how to fix it. Very easy way to learn. Now, when I run it, all the bugs will go. And now if I call DF again, you will see DF will come with the monthly profits column. You see the monthly profit column here. Yes. And now if I want to visualize the monthly profit, because we always have our eyes on the profit, I can say df.plot, and then I'll say df square brackets monthly square brackets quotation monthly profits. You always have to make sure that what you are typing corresponds to, this is DF, not FD. DF corresponds to the column name. It's the same way. So in fact, you can copy, for example, monthly profits. I can copy it, and that reduces your typing errors, and paste it here. Yes, there's nothing wrong with doing this. It helps you by reducing the typing errors and reducing your error outputs, error feedback. So when I do this, by default, the plot method plots a line. So I'm only trying to do a line plot for the monthly profits. Or I can do it more formally and say X more a data, what do we call it? Time series. Okay, I want to see how the monthly profits distributes the trend in the monthly profit across the period, the months. In that case, I'll do df.plot x equals df sorry X equals DF, then which month? I mean, which column? The month, the month on the x-axis, because I want to do some basic time series analysis. I want to see how the sales values, sorry, the profit values distribute across time, across month. Then I will say Y equals DF this one, monthly profits. And then specify that I'm doing time series or line. So kind equals line. Okay. Okay, so we have a case where it's giving us this error message saying key error, none of index January up to December. None of them are in the columns, okay? So what we can do is, for a beginner, for a learner, let's say you don't understand any of what the error message is saying, because sometimes the error message can be a bit technical. I see a lot of things, a lot of scary things. So if you are in Colab, you can say explain error. And when I click on explain error, let me see what is happening. Okay, so it says, please explain this error. I've imported this to Gemini. And let's see what Gemini says is working, still running. So let's wait for some time and see the interpretation it will give about the error and how we fix it. Okay, so we can see, I want to see how I can expand this thing. The window is a little bit restricted, but this is it. The error in the code is because the X and Y parameters of the dot plot function expects the column names as strings, not the actual data frame series. I'll correct this by passing month and monthly profit as strings to the X and Y parameters. So this is very straightforward way of telling you what the problem is. So the problem is that what we typed, I said X equals months I think I did month as in month. But because we are referencing this, or take it like this is how the syntax goes for the plot function. df equal df dot plot. We already have, this is the df, so the code knows that, okay, it is talking about this whole data frame. And then your x, I did it, x equals df square brackets this, which is like going to access the values here, January, February, March. And then I did y equals df square brackets this one, which is also going to access these values. And then the error message was like this. You don't really need the values, you need the names. So this is the correction. It said, oh, you need to specify the column name and this. Let's run this and see if it corrects the problem. Yes. Then you see, okay, this is how the syntax goes. It's just like learning any other language. Let's say you speak, let's say you speak Cree, or you speak Fancy, or you speak Dagbani, whichever language. And you are learning some other language for the first time. This one, we will have to clap for you as a beginner, because you still have the logic, but you can break the language rules a little bit. And that is where you need these tools around. You say, okay, what did I do wrong? What did I speak wrong? And you say, okay, for this thing, this is how we speak it. And then once it is corrected, you see this. It means we can also come here and say that, okay, we don't need them in bars, we need them as a line. And when I run it again, it will do a time series showing me the trend, a similar trend, because I'm only just extrapolating the same data points. Yeah. Any questions, please? Any questions so far?
Hello, Doc.
Okay, so now when we go, okay, if you have a question, please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
I wanted to ask, I can see that using the code is a bit difficult. Can we always use the natural language in the Gemini after that we translate it to the code or the numbers?
Of course, when you are doing a real world project, the tools are there for you. You can do it as an anyhow. It's straightforward. It's professional. It's possible for you to do. But as a learner, for example, let's say you are learning, which language do you speak? I mean, native, your native language, your mother tongue. I'm asking a question. I need a feedback. Yeah, okay. So let's say you speak Cree natively and you are learning French for the first time. But you have a translator where you can speak Cree to it and it will translate everything to you in French. As a beginner who wants to learn French and speak French as a native French speaker, it will not be good for you to pick the rules of the language and how it goes by always using the translator. You only use a translator to help you learn the rules in the language. So as a learner, for example, you know, when I was trying to debug, I just clicked on explain error. Explain error is just a natural language. I could have opened Gemini and just say, Gemini, see the notebook I'm working with currently. I have errors in doing this specific thing. Check what the error is and what the correction should be. It will do that and give you the feedback. Or you could have even typed the whole of the question and give it to, and just say, analyze this thing for me. It will analyze it, but it is a big blow to you if you don't really understand how it is doing it. You can use that feature where the Gen AI model can maybe do the analysis for you, and then you ask the model to break everything down for you to understand the syntax and the logic behind the syntax. That's how you have to learn about it. In that case, you are learning how the building blocks connect. Not the cheating way students use ChatGPT. He gets a question, he copy the question and he generates an answer and he copy the answer. He doesn't understand it. That way of using it is wrong. So at the learning stage, if I should answer your question directly, at the learning stage, because you want to really understand what you are doing, you learn it like this. The way you can use the natural language feature, because it is automatically embedded with a language model, is that you can ask the language model to break the text down and explain each code, the logic behind it, because you are picking the logic. And when you do that, you try to replicate it by yourself without using the natural language, so that you were able to understand the language. The language become part of you. You speak the language. Not that you don't speak the language, but you are using interpreter. If that's the option you have, you kind of get locked along the line. You can only do basic analysis. And when language model is not able to run the analysis the way you want it, you will not be able to go through the code that the language model generated and then modify the code to make it customized to your needs. You will not be able to do that, right? So you need to learn the syntax. You need to learn how the language is spoken. Like I told you, if you really want to speak French, you don't use translator, because that will not let you. The translator knows the language, you don't know it. But if you want to learn it, the translator can be a companion to help you to pick the logic, to pick the syntax. That's what you are learning. Any other question? No question? Okay, so I'll give you the remaining time, and then it is purposely for going over the same thing we have done. You have the question. Maybe I can save the notebook and share the notebook with you as well. And then you can just sit down, expect a lot of errors. And you should be happy if you get errors. You learn a lot through errors. Go through it. When you are able to complete it, you have learned a great deal. Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
You're welcome, Prof. Please, Doc.
Yes, please.
Please, so are we going to answer a question like this at the exam?
Similar.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, similar. And it's not difficult. Just play with this. Play with this thing. If you get a question, take a screenshot, put it in the group. Just be interested in playing with this and learning how it plays out. For example, if you get some funny computer game, I think the computer game I liked to play a lot when I was a kid was Road Rash. I don't know if any one of you played it. It's like a motor race. Yeah, just go and sit behind Road Rash if you have not played it before right now, and try to play. The number of times you will fall down and then you will get arrested and so on and so forth. But as you keep playing it, because it looks interesting, a time will come, you have mastered it. That's how this thing is, like a computer game. So play around it. And you have tools around you. If you make a mistake, you can query the tools. Oh, why did I make this mistake? What's the right way? And it will show you how to do it. You have never gotten this learning environment in your life before. Everything is just around you. So don't be lazy. The only thing that can cause you not to really accept or assimilate this thing is laziness. If you kill your laziness, these things are straightforward.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so let's end here. I'll send the the notebook to you immediately after the session, and then you can begin to practice. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Wait, okay. So it means that we are not meeting him tomorrow, eh?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Charlie. Then tonight we have to meet too.
But I didn't know that we are meeting. I thought
Me, I didn't know
I
because
thought Federal you said tomorrow.
eh, I didn't know. So I even went to church. Oh. So
I was also at church.
when I came and I said, let me see, let me click on the link that he was talking. I said, hey, Charlie.
Said are you there?
No, he's gone. Oh.
I thought he said he gave us information that the committee two has postponed it.
Eh, as
So
for
what
as,
happened?
as for finance, yeah, I think he chatted. He chatted and he said, say, he has understood. So tomorrow, 7 p.m. So that we'll meet him. Said okay. Charlie.
Tuesday or tomorrow?
It's Tuesday, 7 p.m.
Mhm.
Tuesday, 7 p.m.
Hey,
But that, hey, but this computer, hey, so what are we going? The objective, I think you will just allow us to do the coding, the code, PD dots, then
in the objectives.
yeah.
So are you going with our laptops?
By all means, we'll go with the laptop. But as for, I think with the practical, as with the exams, you see the way he's teaching, we are allowed to use any of the Geminis. Okay. But how to even command them to
How
give
to
you the
even command it?
test? That is it. So that is why he doesn't feel bored because he wants even the Geminis what to even guide us so that we'll be able to create it. Like the question that he gave us,
Yes.
the question that he gave us. This one is a service. How am I going?
Are we meeting tonight?
I think we have to meet.
And then we go over this.
We have to meet. And then we go by if we know the basis, as he said, if we know the basis, how to even command, how to do the maybe if you want to let the give create a question or an answer. It's all up to how you command the the computer to give you what the answers. So that's the programming. Actually, my husband is not around. He has traveled. If he's here, yeah, like with the lecturing, he would have sat here so that he would know the dimension. Then we will use him as a TA. Okay. Because they do the computer programming, the networking, and those other things. So mostly they do the pinging, and the other things. Me, that's not my side, so I don't even connect with him. So if he was to be here, yeah, so let's see. And as he said, no, when we start, when we know the basics and the procedure on how to even open the cola, the Google.
How to do open the cola price a problem?
How to open the Google Cola and the other thing. I think that's it. And the Google Cola, I think when I asked him, you just
Hello. Hello.